So much has happened since the last time I talked to you, and I am so elated. But hold on, we'll save that for a little while. First, I just want to say my name is Judy Jewell, and this is my podcast called the Autumn Acorn Knits Podcast. And I am recording from our tiny guest cottage in the woods. It's nestled amongst the pines of the White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire. The house is over there, and this is where I like to go to get away, to spend some quiet time, to reflect, to knit, and to podcast. So welcome back. If you joined me, this is episode 3, so I do have 2 others that you could go back and watch if you haven't. But thank you for joining me, and you can find me on Instagram at Judy Jewell, and that's JUDYJEWELL_, or you can find me on Facebook under Judy Jewell, or you could ask to join our Facebook group at the Autumn Acorn Knits. So yeah, thank you. I am so thrilled. I have gotten the best feedback from you guys, helpful hints on knitting matching socks, and just really, really positive, inspiring words that just make me, propel me to want to do this more and more and more. So I know I said that I would try to podcast every week, and then I told you in the last episode that my daughter Kelly was expecting a baby girl any day now. Well, we got that call on September 12th, so Joe and I packed the truck and headed down to the hospital in Connecticut. I wish I could say that the labor and delivery were uneventful and easy, but they were anything but. It was traumatic. My daughter ended up having a emergency C-section, but she now has a beautiful baby girl. Little Charlie Adelaide was born, weighed in at 7 pounds 7 ounces and 21 inches long. And I know I'm Nana, but oh man, is she gorgeous. So I will try to insert a picture or 2 here so you can get a look at her. Mama's doing well. She is home. I stayed with her for about 10 days. I stayed in Connecticut for 10 days. A couple of those days she was in the hospital, and so I was just getting ready, getting the house ready, making sure everything was nice and welcoming. And then they came home, Kelly and her husband Ken, and I just sort of did whatever I could to help and make things easier for them, for both of them. It was hard to leave. I mean, I was anxious to get back home because I love it here so much, but it was hard to leave that sweet little babe. She is just precious. And I was told, a lot of people said being a Nana or grandma is the best thing, and I had no idea. I wasn't prepared for quite how wonderful it is. So thank you for those of you who were, sending good vibes and good wishes for that birth. On our way down to Connecticut, Joe and I, because it wasn't an emergency situation then, and we thought we had some time, and I needed to exchange a knitting needle that had broken, so we stopped at Webb's. In Massachusetts, if you've never been to Webb's, you really need to go. It is I think the largest yarn store, maybe in America, but definitely in New England. It's huge. You walk in, and it's a very large store, but then the magic happens when you go in the warehouse in the back. It's just this huge room full of discounted yarns. So that was amazing. And I will show you what I got at Webb's and explain a little bit about why I was returning a knitting needle that broke for the 2nd time. So let's see. So what I have purchased, we might as well get started with that. Joe and I went to a consignment store that we frequent rather regularly in Lincoln, New Hampshire, and I was so excited when I found some fabric. I found sock yarn too, but I think I showed that to you last time. But we found some vintage fabric, and they were already cut in all these wonderful squares. And here's an example of some of them that I thought were especially pretty. This one I'm in love with. So beautiful. I made something with this that I'll show you in a bit. This is so pretty too. See that? I just love them all. This one had quite a bit. So, yeah. Super fun. Look at this. How old do you think this one is? Flower Power, baby. Sweet, huh? And then this same fabric, but it says love. So I will be making up some lavender sachets with that. I'm actually diffusing, if you can see my diffuser in the background, I'm diffusing Young Living lavender because I get nervous still when I do these podcasts, and lavender calms me down quite a bit. If I start yawning, you'll know why, because it's also awesome for sleep. And so maybe, where is my sachet? I could find it. Maybe it's in here. I don't remember which project bag I put it in. And of course, yeah, it's not going to be so easy to find right now, but that's okay. Maybe I'll find it later. So, yes, I got that fabric. It was like $3 for all of it, so super excited to see what I can make. I'm not much of a sewer, but I like to hand stitch. That's my favorite thing to do. Then I got this project bag, and I don't remember if I showed you the other one that I bought. I have two of these. This one will be a gift, but it's a drawstring bag with all these beautiful birds on it and nests and just really, really sweet. And I realize it's washing out. It's probably better I hold it back here. But sweet bag. I bought it from Bright Crafts on Etsy, brightcraft.etsy.com, and I just really love it. I loved it so much I had to get another one. I know I talked about the Etsy shop, The Steady Hand, before, probably the last 2 episodes, but I just can't get enough of her items. They're just so well made. So I decided I needed this project bag. Let me see that. It's got diamonds all over it. And diamonds hold a special meaning for me personally, not just because they're my birthstone. My birthday's in April, so diamond is the April birthstone. And not because my last name is Jewel, but more about a business goal that I'm reaching. So it's kind of cool that it had diamonds on it. And it's got a nice zipper, turquoise blue. And then the inside, it also has a pleated bottom, which I like. So this, I wouldn't consider it a project bag. It certainly is a notions bag though. But like I said, here's the Steady Hand. You can read that. That is her business card. And also from the Steady Hand, while I was buying that one, I could not resist this one. A sweet colorful sheet. This one has a gray zipper pull, and then she puts these neat little loops on it, so that makes it even easier to open. And this one also had a pleated kind of box bottom. So cute, right? And whenever I buy project bags, I do try to, I'm on a limited budget, so I do try to look for either on sale project bags, or whether I have a coupon code, or just look for the most reasonably priced project bags. So I think that the sheep one, yes, the sheep one with my coupon code was only $10. I mean, that's such a fabulous price for something so well made and lined so beautifully, and just the workmanship is unlike any I've seen. So really super happy with that. And I need to stop saying the word super, because that seems to be like the word of the day for me. So, excuse me. I also was able to place an order through Knit Picks I love Knit Picks. I haven't ordered a lot from them, but what I have gotten, I've been so happy with. And this was a line, I don't even know if they still have this line anymore. It's called Donica Studio. So I bought a zipper pouch and a project bag that match. I haven't used them yet. Well, one, I wanted to show you, but two, they're just too nice to use. Do you ever get things that you're like, you love so much that you can't use them for a while? They have to sit there and you have to stare at them. I do that all the time. Sometimes it will take me a month or two to take something out of the box or the package or just to use it. It's kind of weird, but it's how I am. But look at this. Can you see that? There's kitties, flowers, like desert flowers, and this really, really sturdy grommet loop. And then there's a super hardy zipper on this end. And then inside is a different fabric. It's lined. But the feel of this bag is like canvas. It's really canvas. It's so heavy and sturdy and beautiful and zips so nicely. And it was such a good price. I wish I had the receipt with me, but it was on clearance or on sale at least, because it would be discontinued. The line would be discontinued. But the matching project bag is heavenly. Look at this. It's huge. Has a drawstring, one side drawstring, so you can close it up. It also has it feels like a linen loop on the side. This one doesn't feel as strong, like I don't think it's canvas, but it certainly is linen for sure. Then it has this really cool like lock thing on the end. And I just think it would be wonderful for holding a sweater project, or anything really, that it would hold quite a bit of yarn, I think. So, love this. Yeah. And then the last, no, not the last thing. Sorry, guys. I just said I was on a budget, but I saved some of this from before so that I didn't have to show you so many things the last few times, so it's not as bad as it looks. I picked up some little stitch markers. Here they are. They came in this sweet little tin, and these are by Stunning String Studio on Etsy. You can tell that I love to support my fellow Etsyans. I had an Etsy shop. I had 2 Etsy shops, and I still have them, but they are on vacation mode for quite a while now, while I focus on other parts of my life. But they'll be back. I sell hand knit warm items like neck warmers and boot cuffs, some blankets, some knitting needles, some jar cozies, things like that. But these are just simple silver metal rings. I don't know if you could see those. Just to use when I need to mark stitches for increases or decreases or yarn overs, things like that. So those just came in the mail yesterday. And then I mentioned to you that I had gone to Webb's on my way to Connecticut because my needle broke. And this needle set, this is an interchangeable set by Knitter's Pride called the Royale. And it came out, I believe, let me check, I have the receipt, because when things go wrong you need the receipt, right? And Joe bought me this 2 years ago, December 30th, 2015. We were on our way back from Connecticut. We had spent the holidays down there, and we stopped at Webb's, and I needed something. I think I just wanted to look around and see if there were any holiday sales. And I saw, when I first walked in, I saw this interchangeable circular needle set, and I said, look how beautiful that is. And then we just moved on to other things. Well, what I didn't know is that Joe was secretly while I was in the warehouse secretly purchasing me this kit, and we got in the truck and he said, "Here, I got you something." And I opened it up and I literally started crying. I was so touched by that, and it surprised me so much. I don't normally get knitting related gifts because I'm a knitter, but when I do, my middle daughter has bought me yarn before, and it just thrills me. Like, nothing makes me happier than receiving yarn as a gift, or knitting needles or notions or anything. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? I'll take it any day over anything else. So it was so touching, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy, thank you," and just was thrilled. But twice now I've had to go back because my needles are breaking. So I'm wondering, is it me? Am I too tight of a knitter, or is it a flaw in the needle itself? So they have no problem. You have to go back to the store that you bought them. You don't go directly to Knitter's Pride. So I went back to Webb's, and they have no problem reimbursing you for your, they just go back on their storefront, and they just pick out the needle you need, and they give it to you right then and there. No questions asked. I don't even think she asked to look at my receipt. But she did say, "How do you like those needles? I have a set." And I said, "I really do like them. I like a lot of the things about them, but they keep breaking, and nobody likes that." So she goes, "Well, I haven't had, since I've been working here, anyone else return them, so I don't know, maybe it's me." Anyway, back to the story. So they came in this beautiful box, and the theme is Paris. And that light is washing it all out. But anyway, the theme is Paris, and then you open it up with this magnetic, and there are your needles. Some of them are out because I'm using them on other projects, but inside of that, underneath, is this really pretty pouch that you can store everything in if you want. I just keep them in the box because I love the box so much. What I love, and I bought the bigger set. This was when I was really into the larger, bulkier yarns. But what I really love about the needles are the wood and the metal. So you've got both, a wood part here, but then the metal tip, and then the metal part to attach your circulars. It feels like a pretty smooth join here, but once you add on the cable, I feel like it's not so smooth, that join. Not so smooth. I love that they stamp the size of the needle, but I don't love that it wears off after you use them, so then you don't know what size your needle is. I wish it was more like etched in or something sturdier. The cable's okay, but would I buy these again if I had to was able to choose between? Probably not. Probably not. By the way, I hope you can't hear the fan I have going. It has been over 90 degrees here in New Hampshire for the last week, especially the last couple of days. It's awful. Like, we had the best August. Temperatures were, 60s, low 70s. I'm like, wow. And then, of course, yesterday was just ridiculous. The humidity was so high. So we've never had, in the 3 years that we've lived here in the log cabin, we've never had air conditioning. Well, yesterday Joe went out, and in the barn we had one, and he put the air conditioning in the window, and what a relief, because you couldn't even just sit still without being drenched. So the air conditioning is helping so much, but it's not air conditioned out here in the guest cottage. So I have a little fan on me. I tend to run super hot anyway, and a lot of that is because of my age, because of menopause, because I never stop moving, basically, or doing. So I was putting rolling on peppermint on my neck, and that helps. I have some on now, and all I can feel back here is just this cool, refreshing feeling. But I also knew I would need the fan, so I do hope you can't hear it and that it's not interfering with the sound. If it is, I apologize. So while I was at Webb's, and this is the last purchase, I promise, I couldn't leave without getting some yarn, right? I told you that they have the best prices in their warehouse section. So I picked up 4 skeins, 4 hanks of their own yarn. It's called Leyden, Leyden Valley Yarns, created by people who love yarn. 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. Each skein comes with 100 grams, 437 yards. And here is, this is the, if you can see the color. It's blues and greens, soft heathered blues and greens. I bought 3 skeins, like I said, and these colors just speak to me. I love, my favorite colors are blues and greens, and then you can throw in some pink, but to have them both, and then there's, no, it's definitely just blues and greens, but then you almost see grays too. So beautiful. I'm not sure what this will be yet. I'm thinking a featherweight cardigan. My second one, I have the first one on the needles now, but I'm enjoying the pattern so much that I'm wondering if this would work really well for a featherweight. And just to give you an idea of how much they were, $10.39 a skein. They were, I believe, half price. So what? $10 for all that yarn? How could you walk out and not get it? Had to. It's almost good that I didn't have a lot of time to look around though, because like I said, I'm on a budget. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I got 4. I lied. I got 4. I know I said I'm on a budget, and I am. Maybe next podcast or at the end of this one I can explain a little bit about my work situation, but I couldn't resist, so it's kind of good we were in a hurry so that we could get out of there before I did any more damage. So, but I'm happy to have my full set now of my, this is the box, the cover to the case. Happy to have my Knitter's Pride Royale needles all together again, one big set without any breaks. Okay, so that was what I have purchased. Now let's move on to projects that I have finished. The first one you may have seen on Instagram, and I'm so excited about this. But, oh, I bought one more thing at Webb's, sock blockers. I figured if I'm going to be a sock knitter now and I'm so hooked, I need some sock blockers, so I bought some. Here they are, and here are my socks in all their glory. If you've been following me, you know that I've had a bit of difficulty getting my socks the right size, getting my socks to match. So yeah, these they don't match, look. But I don't care. There's something about this yarn that makes it okay that they don't match. And so many of you have given me the best ideas on how to get my socks to match. I was doing it all wrong. I must have, whoever I listened to the first time, they weren't right. It wasn't accurate. I was doing it completely opposite of what I should have been doing. So now I have some pointers, and I will be following those. So thank you again to those viewers who reached out to me to share your knowledge. These again were made with the Crazy Zauberball yarn by Chappelle, I believe. And they're just incredible. This yarn, while it's not cheap, it's kind of expensive, and I realized I paid more than I should have for my pair, for my my ball. I've never loved a sock more, so I may have to get another Crazy Zauberball soon. I don't know. We'll see. Those are finished. And this very special project that I was working on for Leslie, who I told you about this in the first or second podcast episode, that Leslie is a friend of a friend who hooked us up on Facebook so that I could perhaps finish her mom's socks. Her mom passed away, and she was very close to her mom, Betty. And so Betty had only been able to finish one sock, before her passing. So although I'm a new sock knitter, I did the best I could on the second sock, and I was able to finish it up in 2 days, which I thought was pretty quick. Betty had written down the pattern, and I don't know if she made the pattern up or I'm not sure. It's hard for me to know, and I didn't ask Leslie, but there were parts of the pattern that were so easy to follow and so clear, and I really liked them, and I thought, well, I'm going to incorporate this into all of my sock knitting. And so it was going really well. And then I got to the part where the directions became a little more vague. Let me see if I could tell you an example. Then decrease 4 times every other row until there are 12 instep and 6 stitches on the first and the third needles. So when it said, and again, it's because I'm a new sock knitter, I'm sure other people could have figured this out easily, but when it said that I should decrease 4 times every other row, I didn't know if that meant at the beginning of the needle, at the beginning and the end of the needle, because I use double points. I was confused. So the second sock is not nearly as beautiful as the first sock. Happily though, Leslie had mentioned that matching doesn't really matter to her. I do think they're about the same size as one another. So here they are. This one is Betty's sock. She did such a good job on hers, and then this is mine. And maybe you can't tell the difference right away at first glance. Probably they're not as noticeable as I'm making them out to be, but I wanted them to be so perfect, and I don't feel like they are, but it's the best I could do with what I know, with the knowledge that I have for sock knitting. So yeah, they're done, and I'm so excited to send them off to Leslie. I know she said that it's taken a long time to find someone to do this for her, so it was such a special project, and I thought about Betty and what she was probably like, and what it's like to lose your mom and how hard that must be. So I am so happy that I was chosen to do this project for her. It was funny too, because the yarn that Betty had chosen for her socks was called Serenity Garden Yarn by Deborah Norville, and I thought it looked familiar when I started knitting with it. So I looked back in my stash or my projects, and I found some of that exact yarn where I had made some I-cords. So here's one. I was making these bracelets. It's really long, but you take the I-cord and you wrap it around your wrist any which way, really. I think the messier you do it, I think it looks pretty. And then you just add a button here, and it would help if I did the whole thing. And then you have this really pretty bracelet. Now you don't have to make it as long as I did. I just got carried away, but it was fun. And then I started to make another one, apparently. This is how far I got on that one. So these are just on size 1. No. You know I can't see, right? I'm in denial. US 2.75 millimeter needles. And I-cording is so much fun. I love doing I-cording. So you just get carried away and keep going and going and going. It's very fun. If anyone would like a tutorial on how to do an I-cord, I'd love to. Just let me know in the messages if you'd like me to do that. So it's kind of fun that I was already familiar with that yarn. So that was kind of a connection as well. So yeah, that project is done, and it was in my little love project bag, which I love. And I thought it was fitting for doing that project because I really tried to put a lot of love into that sock. Okay, so what I'm working on now, while I was in Connecticut helping my daughter and the baby and her husband, I thought I would have more time to knit, but I really didn't. I would go into the guest bedroom around 9 or 10. Sometimes once or twice I went in a little bit earlier if I was really tired, to listen to podcasts and to knit and just to give Ken and Kelly some alone time, some family time. But I didn't get to knit as much as I thought I would. So, but that's okay. Believe me, I had such a ball. But in my project bag that I snagged from my mom because she was getting rid of it, she wanted to go to Goodwill, if you can believe that, I have my Featherweight cardigan by Hannah Thetic. And I'm sure most of you know what the Featherweight looks like, but if you're new and you don't, it's just a very simple cardigan. No buttons, and made out of lace weight or fingering weight yarn. And so I will show you how far I've gotten so far. And if you forgot, this was the yarn that I chose. It's rose and gold and creams and tans and so squishy. This is the yarn that I was worried I wouldn't have enough to finish the project. I'm still not convinced that I will, but I'm still going with it. Here's my needle cozy by a steady hand. I told you how much I love these. This is a new one too. It's diamonds. It matches the bag. It matches the Notions bag. But I told you I love this one because it has the 3 snaps, so that you can have it for a smaller project if you snap up to here, or a larger project if you snap here. But it really helps. This time I don't have my DPNs in it. I have my circulars. And these are some of the Knitter's Pride Royale that I showed you earlier. And this, I know it's hard to see, this is how far I've gotten so far on it. And I absolutely love the way the color is turning out. I think you can see just how pretty that is. I think it's beautiful. I'm really happy with it. So I haven't divided for the sleeves yet. I'm getting there. It's a bit of a slow go, but I'm enjoying it so much that I don't mind. I wanted it ready for Rhinebeck in October, so that's still, what, a month away. I'm not sure it's going to happen. I'm going to try. That's all I can do, right? I'm going to try. So, and the yarn is called, where did I put that? Seven Sisters Arts Meridian in the Daydreams colorway. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards or 100 grams, and it's a 4-ply. So I bought that yarn in Portland, Maine at Knitwits Yarn Shop. Beautiful yarn shop. I plan to go back. I'm wondering too, maybe you all would know this, but if I run out of yarn, would I be able to go back and have them order another skein? And then would that work? Would it be the same colors, sort of? So that's the only thing I can think of to do other than make the neckband a different color, but I'm not sure. So, we'll see. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm so happy that I'm making a cardigan for myself, and I hope it fits, because the last pullover top I made out of lavender cotton yarn, it was a very simple pattern and I really liked it, but it's huge on me. I seem to have trouble with sizing in general. I wanted it roomy and loose fitting, but the sleeves are like this much too long, so I have to roll, and it's kind of silly. Anyway, that is a work in progress, and this one I started yesterday, and I'm so happy I did because it is really easy and quick, as baby knits tend to be. But this one I told you I wanted to make last time. I said I wanted to make the newborn Vertebra cardigan for baby Charlie, and so I started it yesterday. Again, my double pointed needle cozies are being used for my circulars today, and those are by the Steady Hand. Here, see if you can get an idea. This is the back, and this is the front. These will be the sleeves. I divided for the sleeves, and it's a very basic, I'll show you a picture of it. It's a very basic cardigan. Let's see. Called the Vertebra by Kelly Brooker. So here's a picture of it when it's finished. The newborn Vertebra. So I think I'm supposed to knit about 6.5 inches from the armpit. So I'm getting close, and then I will go on to the next step. I may make it a little longer. I'm not using the newborn size for this because I wanted it to fit Charlie. Well, I wanted her to get more wear out of it and not just have it for a couple of weeks while she's a newborn size. So I went up a needle size on both because it calls for 2 needles. So I'm using a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter double pointed needle set, and a US 4, which is a 3.50 millimeter 24-inch circular needle, instead of the 2 and 3, size 2 and 3, US size 2 and 3 needles that it calls for. So I'm hoping it works and that it fits her and that she gets a lot of use out of it this winter. While I'm thinking of it, I started watching a new podcast called Freshwater Pearls, and the host of Freshwater Pearls her name is Hope, and I think she lives in Michigan, and she is such a love. I instantly connected with her. I think she has 4 podcasts out right now so far. She had to take a hiatus when she was pregnant with her 4th child, little girl Meadow. But her little girl, I think, is about 6 weeks old now, so she's able to get back on a normal podcasting schedule. I connected with her so well. So, I thought she was so funny and just so cute, and I just really enjoy that she's on a budget as well, and her yarn, when she's able to buy yarn, she can't always get the most expensive yarn, so she uses more economy yarns, which I can relate to. I have plenty of those yarns in my stash. And she mentioned me on her last podcast, which I thought was just so sweet, and I had to run and say, "Joe, listen, Hope mentioned me." I was so thrilled and tickled. So I did want to mention her. So if you want to find her her podcast, it's Freshwater Pearls, but it's PURLS on YouTube, and then on Instagram, Freshwater Pearls, same spelling. So check her out, please. Anyway, the reason I even brought that up right now is because she made the newborn Vertebra for Meadow, for her baby girl, and she said it's one of her most worn pieces, and she absolutely loves it. So it inspired me to get going on this and get this done. And I have it in my little mushrooms project bag, which was my very first project bag that I purchased, and so obviously it's special to me. And it has this beautiful acorn progress keeper. I'm wearing my acorn necklace today. I don't know if you can see it. It's the sweetest little silver acorn that Joe bought me for our first Christmas together. We hadn't been together that long, so it really surprised me that he knew me so well already, that I love acorns. And he has a tattoo, well, he has many tattoos, but one of them has acorns all over it. And so when we met, I'm like, okay, this is destiny. What other guy do I know that has acorns tattooed on his body? So when I do get my first tattoo, it will be an acorn. I'm also thinking about knitting needles with a little ball of yarn. I saw my son-in-law's sister Katie had a tattoo that reminded me of it. I don't know, we were talking about tattoos. She just got a new tattoo and I said to her, I'd love to get that. Somebody has one. Oh, Danny of Little Bobbin's podcast, which I love to watch as well, has that same tattoo right, I think right here. Little ball of yarn with 2 knitting needles. So someday, you know what? You're never too old to get a tattoo, right? 53, I can do it still. Oh, and I found the little sachet that I was telling you about that I made with the vintage fabric. Isn't that sweet? In the back. It smells so good. Not only does it have fresh lavender in it, you know, dried lavender, some wool roving, but I also dropped in probably 10 drops, maybe not 10, but 8, of Young Living's lavender, which is pure, 100%. If you're never sure, I know a lot of you use essential oils and maybe you just buy them at your local grocery store. I've seen them at TJ Maxx. Maybe you just order them on Amazon. Check to be sure. There are so many out there that are not pure. They are just laced with all kinds of crap, and they're really not going to help you. They're not going to give you the therapeutic benefit that essential oils should. So Young Living is the only brand that I would ever recommend, because the way that I know they're pure is they don't expire. Look on the bottom of your bottle. Just look at the bottom. If you see an expiration date down there, it's probably not pure, and it's a really, really easy and quick way to tell. These do not have an expiration date on the bottom, so they will last forever because they're not cut with anything that expired. Anyway, this smells amazing, and I plan to make a bunch more. I think they'd be really great in project bags, as gifts. Just, you know, Christmas, you could attach it to the top of the Christmas gift. And with all this great vintage fabric and me loving hand sewing, there's no reason not to do it. So, yeah. That's that. So those are my works in progress. Thought I'd talk about a little bit about where I'm going. I mentioned it last time, but this weekend coming up is the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival. And I'm not even sure, I think I told you about that there's this one trailer there that comes every year full of discounted yarns. I'm talking like $1 to $2 for a skein. So, and I've been there quite a few times, but I've never gotten there like right when they open. So this time I'm going to get there the minute they open at 10 o'clock. And this time I won't be running to the bulky, super bulky yarns. I'm going to be dashing to the fingering weight, DK weight, sport weight yarns, because that's my new thing. So I can't wait. I do have to limit myself though, so I don't know what that limit will be yet. $30 maybe, but think of all the yarn I could get for $30 at that price. So I'm excited about that. So I'll be there this Saturday, and then Rhinebeck, which is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck, New York. Joe and I will be headed over there, taking a road trip October 21st and 22nd. And I would love to meet up with any viewers or fellow podcasters. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I would be thrilled to say hi to you and chat in person. It'd be fun. So yeah, that's where I'm going. Now I'd like to talk about, I have 2 things. The current giveaway, and I'll be announcing the winner in a second, and then a new giveaway for to announce the winner at the next podcast or the one after that. But the current podcast giveaway, in honor of my first episode, you will get a skein of this hand-spun yarn in these beautiful oranges and yellows and creams. Very autumnal yarn. Hand-spun by Heartstrings by Dee on Etsy. And I made some acorns, felted acorns. I actually have a jar full of them over here. They're so fun, but you could probably see them a little better, maybe in the jar. And there are some buttons that I made, some fabric buttons. They're yellow, there's 4 of them, and then a cute postcard that you can color in. So my whole plan was to use the random number generator live and show you. And then I realized I film with my iPhone. How am I going to do that? So I did it before this podcast episode, and then I took a picture of the results. And I'm so sorry. I'll try to figure something out. I almost need to film maybe with an iPad and then use my phone, or I don't know. But there were 32 entries, and no, I'm sorry, there were 37 entries, so I just put in 1 through 37 on the random number generator, and number 32 came up as the winner. And that comment is by Sandra Bayzat. So Sandra, B-A-Y-Z-A-T, you are the winner of this. And I'm so thrilled. So please reach out to me. I need your address. If I don't hear from you, I'll reach out to you. And just send me your address and I'll ship it off to you. So yay, way to go. Thank you for everyone for entering. I know I'm a brand new podcast, but the response you've been giving me is so heartwarming. So thank you. So now, I guess in honor of my 3rd podcast, I'm going to have a new giveaway. So here it is. This time you'll be getting this beautiful skein of Galway paint yarn, which is pure wool knitting worsted weight yarn. And these buttons I made 4 of them, and they're pink with little flowers. I'm also giving away this pretty awesome, if you can see that, it says Sleepy on it. It's an inhaler. Let me take it out because it's really difficult to see. It's an inhaler, and what I did was, it's got 3 little cotton wicks, and it's so cute. It's purple, and you just take off the top, and you literally just inhale it, and it smells wonderful. It has Young Living oils in it. I put in 2 oils, Stress Away and lavender. So that's why it's called Sleepy, because it'll make you sleepy and calm. Stress Away is a blend, so Young Living blends their own. So it has Copaiba, which is excellent for nervous exhaustion or stress. And it's also an amplifier, so it makes all of the other oils that it's with work better. It also has cedarwood, which is very calming, lime, which is invigorating and uplifting, and it's kind of just happy, makes you happy. Acatea for emotional balance, and lavender. I put lavender in it as well, which I think everyone knows is a very calming, relaxing oil. But that's not all. I also included 2 progress keepers that I made. They're very light. They're not heavy, which I tend to prefer. And there they are. Hard to see, but pretty, right? 2 of those. So all of this can be yours. And all I'm going to ask you to do to win those is just to make a comment. What did you like about the podcast? What do you think I should do different? What are you knitting on right now? A little bit about yourself. You could ask me a question if you're curious about anything about my life or me. Anything. Just as long as it's a comment. You may comment on this YouTube down bar. You can comment on my Instagram site feed. You can comment. That beautiful yarn. It's such a pretty color. I love it. You can comment on my personal Facebook page, which is Judy Jewel, or the group, which is the Autumn Acorn Knits, or like I said, Instagram, which is Judy Jewel _ any of those places would be fine. And yeah, so then I will just do the random number generator again. You know, I number the comments first and who put the comment, and then I just pick the winner that way, and that would be great. So I think that's it. I don't want to keep you too long. I do hope you'll take the time to check out Hope from the Freshwater Pearls podcast. And yeah, it was so nice chatting with you again. I forgot to tell you I'm drinking water because it's so hot that I couldn't even bear the thought of tea or coffee today. But until next time, happy knitting. Goodbye.